video games, these are becoming very, very popular forms of gambling as well, because in-game gambling is found in many, 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 many games that are being released today, right? Primarily found in the form of loot boxes. Some games even have, interactive little casinos that are built right in. And these things actually blur the line between playing the game for fun and, of course, risking something of value for a chance to get better stuff, right? Sometimes people play the game for long periods of time just to earn a loot box, right? A chance to get something that's shiny and new. And sometimes certain games will make you play the game for such a long time to earn these loot boxes that sometimes players will get impatient and just pay money for them outright instead of having to play the game for however many hours it takes to earn one. Casino games are also starting to replicate this look of video games today because they're noticing that it's particularly really, really popular in that 18 to 35 demographic, right? They want younger folks to come in and spend their money. So of course, they're going to start to emulate the look of those video games. And at the bottom there, we have what's called esports or electronic sports. These are primarily found on streaming platforms like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. And essentially what that is people playing video games almost like a sport, right? You have teams that go off against one another. And with any kind of team-based game, of course, you're going to have people that place bets on each team. And you can have upwards of millions of viewers on a streaming platform called Twitch watching people play these esports. Sometimes they fill out entire stadiums for people to watch these games being played. And of course, there are many, many websites that are dedicated to taking bets on these teams. And lastly, we have online forms of gambling. First off being the opportunities to play slots, card games, or any kind of casino game. You name it. If you can think of it, it's more than likely found in an online form that you can play in a casino. Almost every game that you have ever played in a casino, it can be found online. And our studies have shown that people who engage in multiple forms of gambling, AKA, you go to the corner store in the morning and buy a lotto ticket with your cup of coffee. At lunchtime, you check your phone to see how your sports bet is doing. On the way home, you might stop by the casino. And then finally, when you get home, you log into your computer to see how your parlays are doing. More than likely, folks that engage in multiple forms of gambling, more than likely are going to develop a problem with gambling, right? So the more ways a person gambles, the most likely they are to develop that problem. All right. Now for the New York State sports betting legalization update. As of November of last year, these were the 9 vendors that we actually have identified as getting their license approved. You might see some familiar names on here, right? Like Caesars and DraftKings. That's the really popular one that a lot of people have seen the commercials for, right? FanDuel as well. So these are the guys that are basically the ones that are running the mobile sports betting in New York currently. As of January 8th of this year, mobile sports betting is now legal. So anybody can download these apps on their phones and they can start making bets here in New York State. And within the first 2 weeks of legalization, $1 billion was bet statewide. For anybody's information, before this year, New York was nowhere on the map for mobile sports betting in the US. But after this has gone legal, we are now the #1 state in the entire country, in all of America. We went from being nowhere on the map to #1.